You can do it!
Someone just follow? Thank you. Thank you for following, retired. Thank you for following, retired. Thank you for following, retired. Just echo. All right. Where do I edit that? Right there. Okay, why isn't that let me change? Why the hell? Um, why is my audio not working? Oh, did you raid me? Thank you. What the hell's wrong with Nightbot? It muted you and sorry. Yeah, I know. That's why I stopped and got something to eat earlier. But everything's nothing's going right. Frustrating. Let me. Why I have to figure out why it did that in a little bit. I'm sorry about that. Where's my other window? Friggin' A. Nothing's working right. There we go. Destiny 2. Alright. Fake it, yeah. Yep. I thought I was done playing this game for a while, but I can't get into Diablo tonight. Really screwed me up. And everything I set up was for, even made a thumbnail for a video for Diablo, and oh well. I may just play this for a little bit and then go down and get on the Xbox and see if I can log in there.
Perhaps a barter is warranted.
Oh, I wonder. What's this? Ninja Vanish. Didn't work, dude.
Guardian. Good.
Alright, man. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.
Yep.
Let's see. Does anybody even know playing this? There's a couple, but everybody's playing Diablo.
Are you ready? Make good use of it.
Okay, hopefully I got Nightbot straightened out.
Checking. All done.
I don't even remember what I'm supposed to be doing here. You know
Hi
what?
again,
Let's
Guardian.
see something.
Eververse trades in goods we feel enhance a Guardian's journey.
I didn't try this earlier. I wonder if I can play it this way.
Just a cover for the war call.
What did I do? I closed my...
The Iron Lords are watching.
Sure, rhythmic physical expressions won't win a fight, but they feel good. And feeling good is better than not.
Let's see. Let's change this
Guardian.
to display.
Searching.
Let's see if I can play it this way. Oh, it's not on. Let me turn it on.
Eververse isn't just a title.
It'll let me
It's a
play it this way. I will just... I'll just stream it from my Xbox. Oh, it's not on this one. Okay.
Hi again.
Everything depends on a vampire.
On the one downstairs. That's a further distance to stream, but
Lucid hive.
we'll see.
By the traveler.
If this works, I'm going to just change my title back to Diablo and...
Eververse isn't just a
Name
title.
Guardian.
It's a promise.
I always united front to survive. Just imagine how long that will lie.
Hi again.
Oh, no.
Lizard. Try it one more time.
Oh, let me
Eververse
check right
trades
away.
and goods we feel enhance a Guardian's journey.
Ready?
Nah, it's not going to work.
Please, Guardian. It's busy.
Okay. It was worth a try, though.
She said she wanted to express herself, so I gave her a thumbs up.
All right. It. How do we get the bounties over here? And be a Diablo night, I guess. I mean, a Destiny night.
You're back.
Ah, I still wanted to play. Go to the helm.
Whether or not they wield the light, the Hive will never beat Guardians.
We can always go fishing today. And we've got 2 more of these and 1 more of this. Okay. Oh, what do we got on? Go diving. Okay.
Our enemies seek to disrupt our salvaging? Then we will drive them off. Go, fight!
Looks like we got some maintenance to do. This old bucket's a few centuries old. That'll no problem more. Be nice and gentle.
Ah, yeah. Shadow Cat.
Guardians down here to disarm some volatile parting gifts our friends left for us. About unfathomable depths and horrific abominations. Anyway, transmat firing.
Dive, dive, dive. Big old toilet.
got a big, nasty fella down here. Go give him a tap on the backside
Give
for
him
old
hell.
Drifter. The saying, many hands make light work? I don't know. Some of that stuff still looked pretty heavy.
I didn't see you lifting anything.
Hey! Ain't you a tactician? My job's the same. It's logistics.
Best look is...
Logistics.
I might have also been eating lunch.
No, should have went to the tower. Look at that mobility. That's terrible. It's a good number, but Okay, let's go to the tower real quick because we gotta get rid of some of this stuff. How much we got in 98? Oh.
Everything depends on a Vanguard.
Contingency plan. Let's see what we got here. Night watch. I'm not seeing it. Okay. Oh, there. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's just... There it is. Substance. That's the one I just put in, right? Yeah. No.
I may need a schematic to read the schematic. Most unusual symbology.
Surplus and one for all, and this one is substance and one for all. That's probably a better roll, so let's upgrade that. Nope. Take that back out. Okay. Oh, the helm, right? Put that on. And then getaway artist. Oh, I'll have to move these things around a little. Need a better role of the getaway artist, maybe. Let's see.
Your return honors me, Guardian.
Oh, I need more glimmer. But we got a getaway artist right there.
Let's see what we've got for each other.
Let's see if that's a better drop after I just upgraded the other one.
Checking, checking, checking.
Not really. Okay, the rolls here. Oh, but I haven't put anything in here. That's a resilience. Okay. Okay, that'll work. Let's
All
go.
done, all done.
What if the Traveler is not what we thought it was?
Equate kinetic.
Are the evil tribes data set ever truly be complete?
Okay. And here. Arc Soul. Okay, what do we got? All right, hold on just a minute. Okay, let's see what this build says. This one, positive.
Document all I can remember.
Okay, Arc Warlocks, it's your time to shine this season since you got burned with your new Strand aspect, but we really don't do negative videos on the channel, so we're not going to go there, even though I'm really sad about it. The gameplay you're watching is from the 1840 Master Law sector, so my power level is currently 1813. I am 27 power level under the recommended, and Grandmasters are only 25 power level under. So I want that point to get across that we are 27 power level under in here, and we're also solo at that, and surviving pretty dang well while going toe-to-toe with champions. So all those complaints about Arc being a little squishier than other subclasses is gone for at least this season anyways. And that is thanks to all of the artifact mods that we can combine to make with any Arc build this season. So yes, Titans and Hunters both can have great builds as well with multiple exotics, because of the ability to combine all these artifact mods for Arc builds specifically. I think the most important thing to talk about for this build and any Arc build really is the amplified buff, 2 artifact mods, and 1 fragment that we're combining. And that's because when you combine these few parts, we take a ton less damage from enemies, and that makes it a lot easier to survive in difficult content. So if you want to take your Arc build or subclass on. So this timer or Grandmaster, then make sure to understand.
Okay, let's see what.
The first is being amplified, where we get that speed boost, and this is important this season because it plays into the artifact mod called Amped Up. We gain damage resistance while we're amplified. So this is what is keeping us alive in here in this Master Lost sector. On top of that, we have the artifact mod called Electric Armor.
I got that one. Amped Up. Oh, there it is. Okay. Amped Up. Okay.
This allows us to stay amplified longer while we have an arc subclass on. So this timer lasts about 20 seconds now for amplified, so plenty of time to become amplified very easily. So for example, on the Arc Warlock, collecting an Ionic Trace makes us amplified. And if you're playing a Arc Warlock properly, you're going to be creating so many Ionic Traces that you're amplified all the time. And the last thing to add to this is the Fragment Spark of Resistance. This gives us
Okay, let's see. Okay, I got Spark of Resistance.
even more resistance when we're surrounded by enemies. So this is technically better on a punchy hunter or titan, but still just adds overall survivability on Arc, and we need that. Make sure you guys also take those damage resistance mods on your chest piece depending on what content you're in, because those help as well. And then
let's see, what does it say is destination, because we're going to do this today. Arc and Solar.
and you also want 100 resilience for your stats. That is more important than discipline or recovery or any other stat by far. Make sure you get to 100 resilience. So by combining all that is how we get better survivability, even 27 power level under in here in this Master Lost sector. And I think that's really important to understand on any Arc build that you're doing in the future, especially if you want to take those builds into Master content or Grandmaster content this season to have some fun with Arc. If you want to see this build in text form as well, then you can find it over on Mobalytics, a great source to find all my builds for Destiny 2, and the link will be down below for you all to use that if you would like to see it that way. Now we covered those 2 artifact armor mods, and I want to talk about a couple more because I think they're also really important for the overall Arc builds that you're going to be running. We have Thunderous Retort, where we get that bonus to our Arc super damage when we're amplified and when we're low health. So mainly just when we're amplified, you're going to get extra super damage, which is just great for Chaos Reach, Thunder Crash, and even our big staff that we throw with our Hunter. And then another artifact mod is Counter Charge. Gain a stack of armor charge when you stun a champion. You're going to be stunning a lot of champions in endgame content, and if you throw on stacks where picking up an Orb of Power grants you 1 additional stack of armor charge, well, when you stun a champion, you'll get 2 armor charges instantly just by running stacks on your boots. So I also like that mod as well, because that's 2 free armor chargers when stunning champions. And even in this Lost Sector, you see me stun a Overload champion 2 or 3 times before I kill it. That's just feeding me 2 armor charges every time to cycle my grenade back even quicker. And then we have 2 more artifact mods in the last column. We have Shock and Awe. Arc Final Blows while you are amplified, summon a burst of lightning that damages and jolts targets. We're always amplified, of course, as we went over. And this really isn't for damage, but it does jolt targets. And jolting is one of the strongest debuffs in the game for ad clear and extra damage on any high health target. And then we also have Lightning Strikes twice. After throwing an arc grenade, gain increased grenade recharge for a short time. Arc Final Blows extend the duration of this benefit. When you throw a grenade, you'll see a 5-second timer pop up on the left-hand side, and then this can be extended by Arc Final Blows from weapons or abilities. This isn't a game changer by any means, but it does add extra ability energy, especially if you have a strong ability build already. So when we combine these 6 artifact mods, all on their own, they're not individually like very overpowered, but all 6 combined make for a really fun time on Arc, especially since we can just survive more. Now for our 2 exotics on this build, we're gonna take Fallen Sunstar. I still think Fallen Sunstar is the best overall exotic on the Arc Warlock, and that's because ionic traces you create.
Okay, that's not the one I was after. I want the one with...
What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. Bungie just made the best solo Arc build for Warlocks so much better. Season of the Deep brings a lot of changes to Destiny 2, including a new seasonal artifact called the Repulsor Regulator, and this introduces several new Arc-themed mods, including Amped Up, Electric Armor, Lightning Strikes Twice, and Thunderous Retort. The addition of these mods will contribute heavily towards the re-emergence of Arc builds in the current sandbox. And there's one in particular that I'm extremely excited about for this season, the Stormcaller Warlock with Necrotic Grips and the handy dandy Osteostriga.
No, that's not the one I wanted either.
Before Season of the Deep launch, I made this video talking about how Stormcaller could potentially be the next best Warlock build. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's really, really good. That makes me so excited because I have absolutely loved Stormcaller Warlock game. So if you want to descend, but in all honesty, it's really not that noticeable. It's still absolutely faster. You can also proc the speed work. Alright, so let's start off with our subclass and let's take a look at our aspects Arc Soul and Electrostatic Mind. Arc Soul says cast your rift to create an Arc Soul that fires at targets in front of you. Allies can pass through your rift to get an Arc Soul. Your rift charges faster when allies are near. While amplified, your Arc Souls are supercharged and gain increased fire rate. Arc Soul is honestly a very strong aspect. The damage alone from the Arc Soul is already enough to warrant taking this, especially when you become amplified, because it does become supercharged and it can absolutely melt a ton of stuff in the game. Being that your teammates can walk into
What is that?
This Arc Warlock build makes you a true lightning god. With this build updated for the new build crafting system in Destiny 2 Lightfall, we'll be taking the Arc subclass on the Warlock to a whole new level. We'll be getting infinite Arc Souls, which actually do a really good job at helping you deal extra DPS for faster ad clearing in high level content. We'll be getting pretty consistent abilities from the melee, grenade and the rift, and overall with this build, we'll be able to dominate endgame PvE, even the most challenging activities like Master Lost Sectors whilst underpowered, and Grandmaster Nightfalls. Now we're going to be constantly generating ionic traces almost all the time, and Bungie did state not too long ago that they are planning on making changes to those so that they can provide us with armored charge stacks and perhaps even other benefits too. So this build moving forward is only going to get better, and I can't tell you guys how much I've been enjoying this build lately. It just does a fantastic job, even in master content, just as a source of extra DPS and ad clearing. And this is just me running around with one. Now imagine 5 other players passing through your rift to get that Shadow Legends. Now with over, and also make download the game by using current.plarium.com, and you want to see more top builds like this for Season of the Below, because Now, similar to my last Warlock build from last season, we'll be achieving pretty much the same setup, but with a few slight improvements. And of course, having it updated to fit nicely with the new buildcrafting 2.0 system, all types are quantified. This will then aid charge. You'll use your, then picking up the orbs are going to act similar.
Yeah, this is net. Yeah, this is the one.
This Arc Warlock build makes you a lightning god. With this new Arc build updated for Season of the Deep, you're going to be melting everything in the game using your Arc abilities, which are going to be enhanced due to this season's artifact perks. So this season really does take this build to the next level. And the best part about this build is that you can use it in a team or solo, and both will be just as effective because you're going to have increased survivability, as well as having the power to take down tough adds like Master adds or even Grandmaster adds, with the help of your Arc Soul and Arc abilities, which you're going to get back pretty quickly anyway when you're using this build correctly. So you pretty much have infinite Arc Souls and grenades for whenever you want to use them. And with this season's artifact, we have 5 mods or perks that are benefiting this build to make it much better. Because using things like Amped Up, which is supposed to be called Electric Armor, well, that will give us damage resistance while amplified, and that is a passive 35% damage reduction, I believe. It's either 25 or 35, correct me if I'm wrong, but that is a huge resistance buff, which makes this build worth using in Master and Grandmaster content this season. And with the setup, the way we have it, will always be amplified 99% of the time, the 1% obviously being if we screw up somehow or while we're reapplying the amplification buff. But guys, I've used this build in the Master Lost sector whilst 20 under the recommended power level, as well as the new seasonal content with a team. So you'll see that gameplay in the background just to give you a feel of how this build runs in both in-game PvE and more relaxed or laid-back content. So guys, if you like this one, then a rating does help me out, or consider subscribing to help me reach my goal of 150k soon. But now let's jump straight into it. So like every season, we get a lot of changes to builds, as well as getting new artifact perks that benefit certain subclasses. Obviously this season we have the focus being Arc and Void, so I will be covering a lot of builds like this every week on the channel. So if you guys do like this one, then why not check out the 4 playlists down below, because you might just find your new favourite build in there. But with this one today, we're taking the Arc Warlock build from last season and buffing it up slightly. So we'll use the initial design we had back in the start cycle, but with a few slight changes to the mods, while also applying new artifact perks as well. And I will break everything down and explain how it all works, as well as give you the exotic item alternatives, because there's actually quite a few different routes you can go with this build. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine, but every exotic will slightly change the build's score. So obviously we're using the getaway arts with this one, and I know a lot of people use the Falling Sunstar, but it's just not needed. We're getting so much energy to our abilities as it is. Now both supers for the Warlock Storm Point subclass did get buffed, so the Storm Trance now has increased PvE damage by 25%, with reduced time to reach the max damage round while attacking from 5 seconds to 3. And the Chaos Reach also got a damage buff by 25% as well, which means depending on the route you go, you could use either of these supers with this build. So if you just want to have a mess around and easy content, go with the Storm Trance, or if you're taking this build more seriously, then go with the Chaos Reach. Because in my opinion, the Chaos Reach is actually worth using now, or at least for this season, since we now have the Thunderous Ritual perk, which will boost our super's damage even more if we cast it while critically wounded or amplified. And bear in mind, we're always going to be amplified, right? So we shouldn't ever need to worry about when we cast that super. And if on the off chance that you're not amplified, just bring out an Arc Soul and then you will be. I was considering to make this build a dedicated Geomax Stabilizers build with the Chaos Reach, because this does extend the duration of Chaos Reach, giving you more damage on the super, but I just don't feel like we need it for the majority of things we'd use it on. If you're going into a dungeon or raid, you just don't really want to use a super that's taking too much time to deal damage when you have other options for higher DPS. Like sure, Chaos Reach does quite a bit of damage now, but it's DPS in the game. It's like Anarchy, realistically, it'd have the highest damage if used efficiently, but you're spending too long to get the damage when you could use other things to milk it. So that's why I didn't really choose the Geomax. So for this build, we're going to use the Getaway Artist, Infinite Arc Souls, and mostly grenades in general, which are also pretty good this season too, due to another artifact perk that we'll get to. So just briefly, the way you'll use this build in all types of content is first hold and consume the grenade. This will give you an arc soul which will start killing ads, generate ionic traces, orbs of power, and just in general help you kill crap. You'll be able to get another charge back before the previous one is even gone, so it's infinite arc souls. And because of that, and the fact that you have a rift also giving you one, you can freely use a grenade whenever you want to as well. But if you're taking this into harder content like a Master or Grandmaster Nightfall whilst underpowered, it will still work the same way, but it's going to take you a little bit more to kill ads, so you'll just go about it like you usually do, but at a slower pace, with you helping the arc soul kill things as well. Ideally try and let the arc soul get the final blows for ionic traces, but if you can't, it doesn't really matter too much. The ionic traces are just going to refresh the amplification buff, which means you don't need to keep getting multi-kills with arc, or keep having to consume the grenade charge. Just let the arc soul do all the work and generate ionic traces, that be either by your grenade version, or the rift that you also give to allies. Now we're using the Getaway Artist exotic arms. What this does is convert your arc grenade into an arc soul and makes you amplified, so the arc soul will function as a turret that shoots to kill ads. Now we're actually running the arc soul aspect anyway, so when you cast your rift you'll create an arc soul that fires in front of you, but also allies who go for your rift will also get one as well. And while amplified, arc souls are supercharged and gain increased fire rate. And those arc souls are pretty good, they do help a lot, so having 3 or even 6 people running around with one is really going to clear the room quickly. And because being amplified buffs them, we'll always have them buff since the exotic starts that when we consume the grenade for the first time. We're also using the electrostatic mine, so defeating targets with arc abilities or defeating jolted or blinded targets creates an ionic trace, and collecting ionic traces makes you amplified too. Now bear in mind that our arc grenades are just going to jolt targets, with our first fragment Sparkle Shock, which also stuns overload, so that's one source. But also this season's artifact, we have a perk called Shock and Awe, where arc final blows while amplified summons a burst of lightning that damages and jolts targets. So we've got multiple ways of jolting enemies. We are using a pulse grenade with this build since they are portable, but most of the time we will consume them. They just come in handy for overload champions sometimes. And the melee is the same, we use the chain lightning to jolt enemies, which again helps us as a last resort. Now we also have lightning strikes twice in the artifact. This means that after we throw an arc grenade, we get increased grenade recharge for a short time, and any arc final blows extend the duration. So getting those grenades back quickly aren't going to be an issue for this season, and with the electric armor perk, we'll be staying amplified for longer, which just helps us maintain that amplified buff constantly to the point where we should always be amplified. And then that helps us with our Thunderous Retort for our extra super damage, but more importantly amped up for the extra damage resist, so we need to stay amplified. I would run arc weapons with this build, it will make the build a lot better. I recommend the new exotic auto rifle from this season, since it causes arc explosions and can blind targets, so it flows nicely with the build that we have. But you really can use any arc weapon, but it is okay to also run whatever you want. Just prioritize your loadout to suit the activity you're playing rather than the build. Otherwise, if you're not confident you can consistently stun champions and complete the activity, then you're just going to have issues and blame the build when it's not really the build that's the problem, it's most likely the weapons. Now moving on, the other fragments we have to benefit the build further are Spark of Recharge. While critically wounded, our abilities regen quicker, and then Spark of
Looks like all our salvaging might have drawn some unwanted attention. Tell them to go mind their own business.
So, you're with Keitel now. How many among her rank ransacked the tower?
More than none, but fewer than you might believe. You've missed a lot since you were gone.
It feels like yesterday to me, Saladin. We were alone, scattered, lightless. I was ready to fight until my body broke.
I don't expect you to immediately acclimate to the new world you found yourself in. But I do expect you to try.
If I can learn to open my eyes and see beyond the tip of my sword, I know you can too.
Tower. Spark of resistance. Spark of aptitude.
Is most likely the weapons that you're running. Now moving on, the other fragments we have to benefit the build further are Spark of Recharge. While critically wounded, our abilities regen quicker, and then Spark of Amplitude, defeating targets rapidly while you are amplified. Okay. Alpha Kill Clip and Slideways. I think we have that roll, but we'll double check. Uh-oh, I thought we were going back to the tower. Okay, we'll do this one again real quick. Come on, come out of there.
I got proximity alarms going off all over the derelict. Must be some uninvited guests on the rig. Show them the door. Come on down, fellas. We got all sorts of damage that needs repairs.
that. Ah, shit, do it.
Electrical is fried. Gonna need you to get in there and see what you can do to fix it. Explosive ordnance on deck. Need you to take care of it, hero. Looks like all our salvaging might have drawn some unwanted attention. Tell them to go mind their own business. Uh-oh.
now. How many among her rank ransacked the tower?
More than none, but fewer than you might believe. You've missed a lot since you were gone.
It feels like yesterday to me, Saladin. We were alone, scattered, lightless. I was ready to fight until my body broke.
I don't expect you to immediately acclimate to the new world you found yourself in. But I do expect you to try. If I can learn to open my eyes and see beyond the tip of my sword, I know you can too.
Arc Warlocks have never been this good in Destiny 2 thanks to this season's artifact mods. Now there's a lot of good builds out there, but this build stands above the rest in terms of utility, damage output, crowd control, and champion coverage. Now we typically see the exotics Fallen Sunstar, Crown of Tempest, and Geomag stabilizers, but today's build uses the best exotic for Arc Warlocks, the Getaway Artist. Now I get it, you might be skeptical. Why should you care about the roided Sparky? There's a few reasons, so let's break it down. Firstly, and most importantly, consuming your Arc Grenade makes you amplified. This has ridiculous synergy with this season's mods, along with our exotic weapon of choice, Centrifuge. Hear me out. This is due to the catalyst stating, when amplified, gain charges of overcharge capacitor. This goes a step further, as you don't lose energy when you're amplified, meaning you can be standing still and stay at max charge. Simply consume your Arc Grenade, and now we have AoE blinding explosions from weapon kills. Perk number 2 of Getaway Artist is the energy gains we get back. You see, every time our little Sparky here does damage, we get 5% grenade energy. Every kill it gets spawns an ionic trace as well, and this little thing never stops shooting. The damage alone it can do by itself shreds through ads. As you can see, standing still after consuming and letting Sparky do its thing gives us our grenade back. You don't need another exotic for better energy gain when the Arc Soul does it all for you on autopilot. Now the champion coverage is where things get interesting. With a combination of our grenade and Centrifuge, we cover all 3 champion types without the need for other key weapons. This opens the door for you to play the game how you want and not worry about specific weapon loadouts for content. We can achieve this by using the Flashbang Grenade. Like the exotic Getaway Artists, hear me out. Flashbang grenades have the lowest global cooldown for the Arc class, meaning you can consume it more often and have 100% uptime on your Arc Soul. They also apply Jolt and Blind, meaning Overload and Unstoppable champions can be stunned. When we take into account the uptime we have on our grenade, along with its champion coverage, synergy with Arc Souls, and Centrifuge, things begin to take shape for a strong build. Now this doesn't mean we can't use the Pulse Grenade. In fact, in content where you don't need that unstoppable coverage, the Pulse Grenade provides you with more consistent damage, especially for overload champions. Let's dive into the playstyle. Simply consume your grenade and go. That's the only step. You're going to be dancing along. We cover all 3 champion types without the need for other key weapons. This opens the door for you to play the game how you want and not worry about specific weapon loadouts for content. We can achieve this by using the Flashbang Grenade. Like the exotic Getaway Artists, hear me out. Flashbang grenades have the lowest global cooldown for the Arc class, meaning you can consume it more often and have 100% uptime on your Arc Soul. They also apply Jolt and Blind, meaning Overload and Unstoppable champions can be stunned. When we take into account the uptime we have on our grenade, along with its champion coverage, synergy with Arc Souls, and Centrifuge, things begin to take shape for a strong build. Now this doesn't mean we can't use the Pulse Grenade. In fact, in content where you don't need that unstoppable coverage, the Pulse Grenade provides you with more consistent damage, especially for overload champions. Let's dive into the playstyle. Simply consume your grenade and go. That's the only step. You're going to be dancing a line of consuming your Arc Grenade or using it. Remember, we can still get our Arc Soul from our Rift, but it won't be as strong. The best explanation for when to use it and when to throw it solely revolves around champions. If there's a champion, throw your grenade. If there's not, and you're ad clearing, consume your grenade. You're gonna leverage the strength of your weapon game along with your mobility to clear through content, such as this 1830 Lost Sector, using your centrifuge on low-level ads and your special or heavy on champions for quick clears. Overall, the playstyle is very satisfying and fun. You feel the rush as you clear through waves of ads while having the power to delete champions or high priority targets with your super. Let's dive into the build, starting with our class choices. For our super, we're going to be having Chaos Reach. This is by far the best arc super right now, as it locks down any high tier mobs that you need to do damage to. From there, Healing Rift, Jump is your choice. Ball Lightning, I personally like this as it's a ranged attack, hits 3 times if you're...
Ball Lightning, what do I have? Chain Lightning. So this is ranged, then I want ranged. Got 3 numbers. Okay, we don't need all 3. Killing Wind Wellspring and Killing Wind multi-kill clip. All Killing Wind. Okay. Alright, let's see something real quick. That's already 3 anyway. You know what? I'm gonna go and we will come back with Destiny tomorrow. Diablo tomorrow. I'm gonna go see if I can get into it downstairs on my Xbox, but alright. Have a good night. Thank you guys for hanging out, and don't forget check out Retired. He's sleeping, but he'll be back tomorrow. Alright, have a good night, everybody.